Race number 21 out of 21, Tyler. What are we going to do? F1's over.
Well, this glass is this Alonso glass is half full, which is, I guess, fitting because
can the folks at home see? We don't have our wide camera today.
No, we don't have our wide camera. Anyways, it says Alonso on it.
There we go. For all you people out there hating that we're biased, look at the variety. We got a Mercedes cap,
which I've shit on Mercedes so much this year, and it's probably kind of awkward that I'm wearing a Mercedes hat, but it's a nice hat.
That's all right. And then we got a McLaren mug. We got another Ferrari cap here, even though it's actually not ours. It's our just crowned fantasy winner, which we'll reveal at the end of the show and in subsequent social media posts. But yeah, we got variety. I didn't plan that, by the way.
No, I meant glass half full because half empty because Alonso's retiring from F1, but half full because during the post race.
You're so Canadian.
I know, right? During the post race interview, he was saying, I walking from the track today, I know I don't want to race another race next year, but I'm not saying the same thing for 2020. Which kind of led everyone on thinking that, okay, maybe this is a half retirement, just taking a year off, and maybe he'll come back when a big seat opens up in 2020 with the rule changes. 2020?
2021.
Close enough.
I would agree because that was sort of one of the things I wanted to talk about in this one. For me, it didn't really feel like it was his final race.
No, it didn't.
I had a weird feeling about it. I don't know. This is just my opinion personally, but I got the sense too that it wasn't his last race in F1. I don't think Fernando Alonso is the type of guy that's gonna retire with the couple of years that he's had at McLaren. Nobody wants to remember him that way.
He's gonna retire like how Nico Rosberg retired, except Rosberg was a lot more shocking. But I think he's going to go for another championship run, and then, in the years to come, one final push, and then he's going to say, okay, that was it.
I believe so, and let me just actually quickly check how old he is.
I think he's 36.
Yeah. I was about to say, unfortunately, Shaker is not available to join us tonight, so I would have asked him, but Fernando Alonso age, yeah, he's 37.
Oh, I was close. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's right around where Kimi is as well, and Kimi's signed for another 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility that he'll come back even in his 40s, 41, 42.
Oh, for sure.
Michael Schumacher came back when he was 45, 46.
Yeah.
And I mean, if he would have had the car to support his abilities, who knows? Probably would have won an 8th world title, maybe.
Maybe.
Red Bull was pretty dominant.
He was also you could tell his reaction times were getting a little slower at that age too, though, with Michael Schumacher at that point. It was more like a mentoring thing to Rosberg, I think, is why they brought him on.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think as you get older.
They had David Coulthard before that or something like that? Who did they have before?
Well, Mercedes was Braun before, so they had Jenson Button and Barrichello for that 1 year.
Yeah.
And then they,
well, when Rosberg came in his first year with Mercedes, not his first year in general, because obviously I think he was with Williams.
I think
beforehand. So. But his first year with Mercedes Petronas, he had it wasn't Schumacher. It was someone else that was there. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Was it Nick Heidfeld?
No, it was. I think it was a big name. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'll try multitask here. Usually, you and Shaker can go together here. Okay. What year did Nico Rosberg start? We're getting off topic here. What were we on?
Well, continuing on the Fernando Alonso, yeah.
Oh, jeez, yeah, thank you.
So I guess the question is, we can both agree that he will be returning to F1 at some point within the next 5 years. So
yeah.
For me, a few things that will decide that is obviously, like you said, the big regulation change in 2021. Don't underestimate the regulation change of 2019 as well, the new aero regulations that are coming in. We'll touch on that a little bit more as the off-season progresses. I mean, obviously, this is more of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix recap, but I think that also will determine a lot on Alonso's decision is what happens next year and then going into 2020 as well. So I think that we might see him back as early as 2020 and probably as late as 2021 or 2022. As of now, it doesn't look like we'll have any new manufacturers coming in for the new regulations in 2021. But we still have a few years for the FIA and for Formula One to sort of figure that out, and if we could get more teams on there, because I mean right now as it is, so what teams could he join? If Lewis Hamilton is still in the sport, I don't think that he'll go to Mercedes because that didn't work out very well in 2007 when they were together. So we look at Red Bull. I don't think Red Bull is going to want him because they have Honda, and I believe that's going to be a successful relationship, and I believe Alonso burned that Honda bridge.
Oh, for
I think
sure.
both of them, Alonso doesn't want to work with Honda. Honda doesn't want anything to do with Fernando. So that leaves Ferrari, which he might have burned that bridge with the team as well because he's been highly critical of the team.
Renault's been, like, if Renault makes a push here with Daniel Ricciardo, is that what you're going on?
That was where I was leading to, yeah. But I like how you think, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the only one that you would think. If they keep going the way they're going, maybe, once they boot Hulk out of there, because I love Nico Hulkenberg. I think he's he's one of the most underrated race car drivers. He did win the Best of the Rest championship for 2018, so congrats to Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah.
Finishing 7th in the championship.
Had a good last race, didn't he?
Wow. He's a great racer. I just don't know if he can kind of make that next jump, or if he's not going to be a big team first team driver, in my mind, as good as he is. And I think that's the issue with Hulkenberg. He could be, right now he's the number 1 driver at Renault, and he could be the number 1 driver probably at every single other team that's not a big 3 team.
Right. Especially with Ricciardo coming in too, he'll have that challenge because Ricciardo's no joke, even if the Renault isn't as good as his Red Bull. But I would agree too. I like Hulkenberg. I think he's got a great personality. He's got a great look. He just looks like $1 million. As the old saying goes.
I mean, he's German, so obviously he looks good.
Yeah, but he's marketable. He speaks very well.
Mm-hmm.
He's still
his
young.
English is great.
Yeah,
his vocabulary is great.
Exactly.
He was talking about how he was, cow today, last
hanging
race,
like a
cow, upside down, which I'm sure upset a lot of vegetarians.
Oh, probably. Oh, everything upsets vegetarians. Don't you worry about that. But they're killing plants too, so.
Hey, plants have feelings as well.
Absolutely. Whole nother story.
Yeah.
We might have just alienated 30% of our viewers.
Our viewers, yeah. Sorry, vegetarians.
Yeah. Not really, though. Eat meat, for Christ's sakes. Fuck's wrong with you?
Is there not a vegetarian on the grid?
Hamilton's vegan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew. Yeah, Hamilton's.
But the thing is, just quickly on that, if he's a world-class athlete, so if you're doing it sort of as a dietary decision, but I don't know, for like a driver, for example, they have to be pretty lean and pretty light, so I think a vegan diet or vegetarian would most likely be suitable for them. But
they're changing the rules on that next year, right?
Yeah, they've
the weight rules,
it's weight separate, right?
Yeah, it's weight separate from the drivers. So these drivers aren't weight cutting before they get into the car to weigh less.
Which is
they have to
good.
Put actual weights underneath. They have a certain amount they have to use underneath.
And speaking of Hulkenberg, it's good for him because he's one of the tallest drivers.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. So yeah, getting back on Nico, I don't know what it is. I think he needs maybe a little bit more of that razor edge to his attitude, a little bit, because he's pretty quiet, and even on track, he's not maybe one to get his elbows out, but he's very talented. So we'll see how he goes with Ricciardo. But getting back to Alonso, I think that if Renault takes that next step, he's had a good relationship with the team, obviously. So
and it'd be fitting to that's where he started to where he ends,
where he finishes, right? I think Renault, their ceiling is very high, and I feel like the only way they can go really is up at this point.
Yeah.
It just depends on, can they get a little bit more power out of that Renault, power unit? Now that they don't have to supply to Red Bull, maybe that sort of helps them a little bit.
Yeah.
And makes things a bit less complicated, less drama, that's for sure.
Well, who was saying it this year, but every time Renault's been in the sport, they've won a championship. I've heard who said it, but it is true. They have the talent to do it. They can do it.
Of course.
It's just a matter of if it can happen again.
Yeah, they did it back in what was it, the 70s or 80s or whatever. But
when they came back in the early 2000s, of course, Alonso.
Yep. It's been sort of last few years they've kind of flip-flopped in and out of the sport.
They took over Lotus, right?
Yeah, it just didn't work. But even there, they won races.
Yeah, that's true. They were very good Lotus for a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Time
then
will tell.
Raikkonen left.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's when it all went
That's
down.
where it went downhill from there. So time will tell what happens, but yeah, for me, I just think that even though it was a nice send-off for Alonso and the donuts were really cool and all the kind of stuff that they did for him, I think that he'll eventually pull what sort of like Massa did and come back. Not obviously next year,
Oh
but
yeah, not like
yeah.
just kidding.
Just kidding. Yeah, exactly. But I think we see him back in F1. He's racing Indy 500 next year. I believe he's doing the full WEC season. He's talked about Daytona 500 possibly. So definitely, I think if he wins Indy 500 next year as well, then he'll he'll shift his focus back to F1.
I think the Daytona 500 is a lot easier to win than the Indy 500, and the only reason I say that is a lot of first timers have won the Daytona 500 just because how nuts that race is.
Yeah.
There's so many crashes. If you ever watch a Daytona 500, it's long, but there's so much drama. It's so much fun to watch. It's the marquee race of the year, and very interesting that the way you talk about like NASCAR and Fernando Alonso is there was a nice driver swap.
Yeah.
I'm sure you saw that with 7-time NASCAR champion. 7-time. This guy's ridiculous. Jimmy Johnson, if you've ever heard of him. Great American name. Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. Yeah.
Can you get more American than that? I'm a fan of his. And that was pretty cool to see. I think the last driver swaps we've seen was it was Lewis Hamilton and Tony Stewart. And the one before that was Juan Pablo Montoya and Jeff Gordon.
Yeah.
So
Who
there's
was at
only
the
been
race this weekend?
who was at the race, correct? I mean, he owns Jimmy Johnson's car, so that helps.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he's
Oh, I
part
didn't
owner with
Okay.
Hendrick Motorsports.
Because we had on Twitter somebody was asking, like, oh, is there something to Jeff Gordon being at the last few races? And I didn't.
He's been at maybe he's going to be an investor in Mercedes.
Yeah.
Because he's been like in Lewis's corner, or maybe he's just trying to get Lewis to come race NASCAR.
Maybe. I also said, too, it might be something with Haas, trying to get an American driver. That's what, I believe the gentleman's name is Cameron. That's what Cameron suggested. He said maybe they're trying to, bridge that gap and maybe bring an American driver.
Well, they had Alex Rossi.
Yeah, for
in
like one or
F1,
two races, yeah.
And he actually has been doing very well in IndyCar, by the way. I think he won the Indy 500.
Yeah, a few years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a guy that could win a Triple Crown. He's won the hardest race in my mind.
Yeah, so next two would be, which he could do it, I think.
I think he could. Well, I mean, I guess he'd have to win Monaco, which is
He'd have to have a good team,
little
good car.
tough. But I mean that's a kid that just didn't break in time, but he has a lot of talent.
For sure. And that might be something that Haas F1 wants to do as well.
Yeah.
Is have an American driver, and that will probably help the American market because that's what they're sort of trying to spread out into. So, but yeah, I did notice that too. He was in Abu Dhabi, and I haven't seen the whole sort of driver swap thing. I don't know if they. I know for like the Tony Stewart one, they did a full broadcast. On Speed back in the day.
Well, Speed was the actual channel back in the day.
Yeah.
Now it's awful. It's Fox Racing. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it was on Jimmy Johnson's Instagram.
Okay.
He was doing a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. I'm sure they'll do some sort of video that like will be like 8 minutes long about it. Because I don't think there was that much to it.
Yeah.
But still, like, I love driver swaps. I love getting perspectives from different drivers. And 100% Alonso races in NASCAR within the next couple of years.
I think he wants to try as much as he can.
Yeah.
Within the next few. I think he wants even a full IndyCar season.
Yeah. IndyCar is dangerous, though. Holy jeez.
If you're not racing on an oval.
Yeah.
Or if you are racing on an oval,
I should
excuse
say,
me.
Yeah.
Obviously, we see what happened with Robert Wickens, and he's slowly making a recovery.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's
our
got,
best wishes to Robert Wickens because
yeah,
that's
it's
scary.
hard,
He's
man.
a
It's
Canadian
hard
guy,
watching that.
rookie. Like you saw, like I didn't watch the race, but I saw it right away on Twitter, and it's like, oh no, like
It didn't
not
look good.
Another one.
Watching it live, I've seen that a few times where it goes the other way. Unfortunately,
And just recently, there was
oh my god, if
that 17-year-old German girl in Macau. Which
Holy.
one, you're holding a race in Macau. What do you expect? Like, of course, the safety isn't gonna be great. It's Macau. Sorry to Macau listeners, but like obviously.
well, it's just
But holy crap!
that was,
Like she came, like everyone was breaking for the corner. I don't know. Like apparently someone was saying that the guy in front of her broke like stupidly early, and she just launched over the top of him. But it looked like she was still accelerating in the air. Like she was a missile going to that, and like thank God she's okay.
I don't understand how she is. I mean, and I saw 6 different angles.
Yeah, I was like,
Somebody had it in slow-mo too, like from an iPhone. I honestly don't know how you survive that. And they
Maybe
don't have a
'cause
halo.
no, they don't. And maybe because she's young, like she could like take an extra bump or so. I don't know.
I don't know.
But like, good on her for trooping through it. And I'm interested to see. She's only 17 years old. If she ends up being the first female F1 driver.
I don't know much about her.
I don't
be
know much
honest,
about her
so-
either, but it's a name to think of now, and what a comeback story that would be after that accident. Like I'm just thinking, the story wise, that's such great PR.
Yeah.
If you're an F1, if you're Williams, you're like, oh, here we go. Like
Williams is just
Nothing
a
else to
feel-good
lose
story.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, right?
Kubica and her, and we're good to go.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know what the official report is that they were going to do an investigation. I heard a few things like she made contact earlier, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
broke suspension, and then
Well, that's not good.
something like that. But I mean, to me, it had to be a mechanical failure because
Oh yeah,
if that was
brakes have to
driver
fail.
error, then, geez, I
Yeah.
don't know if you should ever race again.
Yeah.
No offense,
Oof.
but if that's driver error, I mean, she almost
She took down a photographer's stand.
Yeah, she almost killed. Well, she almost really hurt the other driver as well that was going into the chicane,
Yeah.
not just herself and everything. So, I honestly hope it's a mechanical failure from that point, but it had to be.
I had to be. You can't like. No, it had to be mechanical.
But it
for
was just amazing, like the rate of speed. It was,
Oh yeah.
it was literally like a missile, exactly like you said. It was no slowing down. Can you imagine how traumatized you'd be watching that? Like, oh yeah, let's go to Macau Grand Prix and.
Well, I think it's just been a weird. We haven't even got to the Hulkenberg crash.
Well, I
Like,
guess we could go there.
I guess we
now,
go right
yeah.
there now. We're talking about crashes, but like that's not a fun crash for Hulkenberg, and
No.
it's his fault too in my mind. I don't think it's Grosjean's fault.
I think it's just racing incident. Honestly, I wouldn't put blame on
Well,
either one of them.
Like you had Hulkenberg, he locked up into the previous corner and then turned right into Grosjean. Like he didn't really have anywhere to go. I mean, I don't know if he thought he was clear of him, but
I think so. He probably did.
it's just one of those where like you get in the right spot and it launches the car the other
Yeah.
way. Which obviously Grosjean felt awful about it, but there's nothing he could do.
Yeah, I mean, probably you could have gone either way with it, but it wasn't a high-speed crash, which was good.
No.
So it was obviously still uncomfortable, but credit to Hulkenberg, he kind of downplayed it and said, yeah, I mean, it wasn't that dramatic. It was probably not a good feeling to be upside down.
Oh, he said he was like a cow. That would suck.
And the biggest concern was a potential fire.
There was a fire. In the
So
back.
this was a little bit, but it wasn't a full.
They
if it would have fully engulfed
No, they
it.
got it there quick. The marshals did a good job.
So I guess that's the debate. Some people on the Sky F1 team were saying, well, what's the extraction like with the halo now if there's a fire and
And I was gonna mention that is usually we see a driver like just take it on the head and pop out, but is this where we see the controversy of the halo, of a guy's upside down like that and has to wait for the marshals to flip the car back over? And tell us what you think down in the comments below, whether you think that this halo is a good idea. That term, like obviously it could have saved Charles Leclerc's life this year, but at the same time it could have trapped Hulkenberg this year. Is this the right way that we're going, or is there a better solution that we could go to for this protective system, or do you just not want to see anything at all? Because it like, if Hulkenberg's trapped under there and he's at a weird part of the track in Vietnam, like it might be
difficult to get
might
to.
be, yeah. And of course they have great suits now that like protect the fire, but it only protects the fire for so long. Like,
Of course.
you see them trying to climb out of that. You can't climb out of that upside down.
I mean, all
Where, like,
valid.
if the halo's not there, you can kind of shimmy out of it. You know what I mean? Like you can fall down and like shimmy on your back, but if the halo's on the ground, you're trapped. That's just my opinion.
All valid questions. I think that one of the good things, I guess, about this season, and we've sort of seen these scenarios with the halo.
Yeah.
So like you said, we had the Leclerc incident. We've also had multiple incidents of debris hitting off the halo and coming into the cockpit.
Yeah.
A few drivers, not major pieces, but a few little pieces of debris here and there. And now we've had this one. We've had a car flip, which we haven't had, which I don't want it to happen, but at the
It's
same
racing.
time,
It's gonna happen.
eventually, yeah. At the same time, it's good that it happens so that the FIA indeed can investigate it and look into it and talk to Hulkenberg as well in terms of what was exactly going on in the cockpit at the time. Was he panicking a little bit, or was it uncomfortable? Could he
But
get out?
this wasn't a topic at all raised during the weekend when that crash happened. No one talked. At least I didn't hear anyone talk about it.
I think it was lost a little bit in the celebration of the season.
So I think the FIA just might kind of sweep this under the rug and pretend that no one really saw it.
They kind of already did. Charlie Whiting says that it would have had no effect on the extraction if there was a fire. I think he said something along the lines of that. Don't quote me exactly, but he's been a big defender of it. And
This is where we need our F1 BackMarkers support group here
yeah, to help us out.
And raise those concerns. Make your voices heard.
Complain
or at least make a topic of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this and whether this is the right scenario.
I'm
not worried about aesthetics now because I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
Obviously I'd rather it without it, but I mean still
I still stand by what I said in the very beginning of the season about the halo, is that I just think it was implemented too quickly, and I don't believe that it's the best thing to protect the drivers.
Yeah.
I don't believe we should move to closed cockpits either.
No.
I still believe that if you want to race in this series, it's going to be open cockpit open cockpit, open wheel.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to take that risk, then don't race. I still believe that, and if the 20 drivers want to line up and take the potential risk of getting hurt, then they're more than welcome to do that. But that's fine. They brought in the halo. We have to adjust. And like you said, the cars look great this year.
Yeah,
this year,
do.
even with the halo, they've integrated it well, and probably within the coming years they'll do even better with it, with color schemes and stuff like that. But now we have to move on to these other questions. If there's a fire, if there's a rollover,
Yeah.
debris coming into the cockpit, okay, the rain's not an issue. That drivers weren't really complaining about that. The vision is okay, even in Spa going up Eau Rouge.
Yeah.
But these are little sort of gray areas where we're not too sure about. And now Hulkenberg's been in this position, so maybe should be one of the kind of leading voices of the drivers to I didn't really hear anything from him complaining about the halo. Or I'd be interested to know what his opinion was. If there was no halo, could he have gotten out? We saw Alonso, for example, in that crash in Australia a few years ago.
Yeah.
He got out super quickly.
And but if he had a halo there, I don't
No
know
way.
if he could get out that quick.
Because the belts themselves are difficult to undo, of course. You're really tight in there. And now you add in, like you said, this halo. And that's one of the challenges with, I don't know if you know Billy Monger.
No.
He's that, I think he's in F3 or one of the junior categories, but he I forget, I don't know if it was in a crash or an accident, but he lost one of his legs. And he's racing. But he has to, now I believe he's moving into another higher category, which does have the halo.
Right.
So that's like one of the tests that he has to pass is, can he extract himself within whatever the time frame is? Because that is one of the tests. It was, without the halo, you had to pass, like you had to be able to extract yourself within 8 seconds or something.
Yeah.
In order to get, the super license and to be able to compete. Now, I don't know, it probably extended a couple seconds with the halo. But interesting debate. Hopefully we'll see some sort of a safety forum from the FIA. It would be nice,
sure.
right? Because it's definitely a concern, I think, for the drivers, because that's just uncomfortable too if you're just sitting there and you can't get out. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the halo as it goes forward.
Okay, that was lap 1.
After that, it was alright.
It was nice to see Max and Esteban Ocon go at it one more time. I didn't get my opinion in on last week.
Yeah, quickly, because this is a all over the place type show for the last race recap. What did you think of
it is actually everywhere.
Verstappen and Ocon incident from Brazil?
I thought it was all Max's fault.
You texted me this like a
and I know our Dutch viewers are going to be like, what is this idiot talking about? But he left him no room. And I know it's a back marker, but holy was he flying past him. And if you're Max, you have to think of what Lewis was doing this year and not taking those risks to get damage on the car to hurt his champion. That's why Lewis won the championship this year. And he didn't. He held his ground because he's a young buck, wants to hold his ground, and he got spun out for it. And there was nowhere for Esteban to go. And you're allowed, it says in the rules, if you're the back marker that's faster, or I should say lap car that's faster, you're allowed to pass. So I have it all on Max.
I hear what you're saying, but you're wrong.
I'm not wrong.
I still stand by.
I wish I was here last week to talk about it.
It would have been heated. I think
it would have been heated. We would have got more into it because I still want to keep this on Abu Dhabi.
I'll just quickly say I see your point, and I think the first part, like I said in last week's show or the Brazilian recap, the first part of what Ocon did I thought was fine, trying to go on the outside. But when Max fought back going into turn 2, I think that's when Ocon should have backed off.
Yeah, and
that should have been the end of it. And then, what happened. But anyways, getting back to Abu Dhabi, it was funny to see them come together.
Yeah,
with Max having that bad start and dropping a few places, and they did come together. They made contact in the chicane. Yeah. But I think Ocon maybe did a good job. He didn't really push it. I think he probably could have a little bit.
Well, I think he knew that wasn't his race. Like, the Red Bulls were fast this weekend. Force Indies were okay. I think he kind of knew that, I'm not going to fight this. Eventually Max is going to pass me.
Yeah.
So why, hold myself up a little bit to try and fight this when I know he's going to get by me? So probably smart boom by Esteban. I'm sure he wanted to score points in his last race for the next year and a bit, which is unfortunate. I love Esteban Ocon. I'm a big fan of his.
No bias.
No bias at all.
Hey, he's not wearing a Force India hat, so
yeah.
We're good. You can't hate on him, guys.
You have Esteban's helmet on your,
I do.
on your laptop. So
I don't know if people can see that.
It's right in the corner. You can see it there, right in the center of your screen.
Yeah, it's a nice helmet. I like the pink from Force India.
But anyways, back to it. I think it's a shame Esteban's not coming back on the grid next year. Saying that, it'll be nice. Maybe Lewis can pass down some knowledge toward him to get a big seat in 2020.
Well, actually on that, because I do agree. I think he's a very talented driver, and he is overall a nice young fella.
Yeah.
But I think Valtteri Bottas is in the hot seat right now at Mercedes.
Absolutely.
He had a brutal race. A horrible, being front row lockout to P5 and just struggling on the tires.
He did not have a good year at all.
No.
And I know, early on in the season, he had awful luck, especially Azerbaijan. But
that played to him for the rest of the season.
Oh, for sure. I think Mercedes almost gave up on him after summer break. Because what did we really see Valtteri do after summer break? A couple poles, and that's it.
Well, yeah, Russia, right? He got pole, and he did everything he needed to do, and then, unfortunately, team orders.
Screwed him.
Right. So, but I think maybe if he would have won in Baku, things would have gone a bit different. But, yeah, I think afterwards he started to not have so much bad luck and just bad results. And I think that had a lot to do with his confidence and everything. But I just think that now that Ocon is out and he's the reserve driver, he's waiting in the wings. If Bottas doesn't deliver within the first 6 races, I think they make a switch.
You do, eh?
Oh, yeah, because why? Let's look at this year. Yes, Mercedes won the Constructors' Championship, but 2 Ferraris finished in the top 3.
Yeah.
Vettel was 2nd, Raikkonen was 3rd.
Valtteri was 4th, right? Or did he get passed by Max?
Yeah, Valtteri finished 5th, which is funny because they still won the Constructors, right? Because, a few DNFs here and there from Ferrari.
Yeah.
But you had the Red Bull also finishing ahead of them. So Hamilton's sort of going to be left alone to fend for himself against presumably 2 Ferraris who will be good next year.
And Red Bulls look strong at the end of the season.
Yeah, and which we'll get into in our kind of season recap in the coming weeks, which I think are going to be maybe even better, the best team next year. So if you're not going to have a guy that's going to be on par or at least close to Lewis Hamilton, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to be losing ground to the constructors. Conversely, I think you'll lose ground to the drivers because you won't have the wingman, so to speak, to be able to do the overcut or undercut on pit stop strategies to fend off and back the Ferraris or the Red Bulls into each other. So if you got Esteban Ocon, who's the future, who's 21, 22?
Yeah, he's young.
So what would be the point of keeping Bottas if he's not going to deliver? He delivered in 2017, had a good year. 2018 wasn't very good. And if 2019 starts off that way, we've seen teams in the past make driver changes as a result of that.
Where would he he's a good enough driver to be on the grid.
For sure.
Where does he go? Does he they're not going to stick him as a reserve driver. So
why not?
Does he get well, send a message, I guess. Jeez, I'd be sending a message. Holy, like, does he go to Williams, back to Williams, and like, but then you have Lando Norris, who's your up and coming Mercedes driver, and you have Kubica, who like hopefully does well.
I don't know where he would go. Maybe he would get regulated
Not
to
enough
that.
seats. That's what it is.
Yeah,
the
we need more
problem
teams.
is. We need more teams.
Jesus, we've been saying this all year. I
know.
think.
Is there a billionaire watching? Get a team going.
Lawrence.
Wait, he's watching. He's watching.
Yeah,
He has
of
a
course,
team going.
of course. We're working on getting him on the show.
Could you imagine? We
Yeah.
had to wear it, like, have this whole thing in pink.
I thought you were gonna say we got to wear suits.
Oh, maybe that too.
Maybe that too. Yeah. But yes, we do need more teams because then we'd solve this whole driver issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know where he would go. I just think that they would have to make that change if he doesn't deliver. Assuming obviously that Mercedes is still, which they probably will be, fighting for the championship. But I think we're slowly starting to see competition come a bit stronger from Red Bull and Ferrari as well. Even though Ferrari kind of bottled it a little bit, man, they still had a pretty good year.
They did, yeah.
I think we've been hard on Vettel and Ferrari at times, but when you look at it, last 2 years have been pretty good for them. So
Comments down below. Another little fun topic is, do you think Esteban Ocon will steal Valtteri's position next year if Valtteri gets to a rough start? I want to hear what the people say as well. Yeah, the people always have some awesome things to say down in the comments. I enjoy reading through our comments. They're always fun. There's some great perspectives on there too that you don't think of.
There's some smart fans, man. That's for sure.
And I love listening to them. So I love reading your guys' comments, and I would like to keep it up, especially on these last two subjects we've talked about.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic there.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not.
Because there's some dumb ones too.
Well, of course, when you have a bunch of people commenting, you're gonna have some dinks out there.
Yeah, I enjoy those too. I laugh, and I move on. But we appreciate all the input, so keep that up.
Yeah, love the support we've had this year. We've grown so much this year, and
speaking of that, we are really jumping around here. So sorry, apologize for that, folks. But before we get on the air, I get a bunch of texts about our subscriber count, and it was. I mean, I checked it a few days ago, and it was around 450. Thank you again, everyone, for that support.
Amazing. 450.
Surpassed our expectations, that's for sure.
We were hoping for 100 by the end of the year. I think is what you're saying.
But I check it, and my dad texted me. He's like, your channel's up to like 19,002 subscribers. I'm like, what? I mean, that's not possible. I didn't get that many emails about subscribers.
It still says it.
It still does says it, ladies and gentlemen. And if you probably, I mean, we were recording this the night before, but it might change
like the next day. Yeah.
The next day, but it says 19,002, which is not accurate. I don't believe.
I think it's 452 is what it says. But I want to say, if there is, I know there's some Reddit users out there. If you guys want to get us to that 19,000, which is of course one of our many goals.
We'll get there. Don't worry.
Maybe toss us on the F1 Reddit and give us some upvotes there.
Help a brother out.
Check the channel out, and that just means more discussions for you guys down in the comments because I know how much you guys love it. So
of course, and
then eventually, hopefully we can get a nice website going for you guys to have forums and talk about this and
an F1
shop.
Be
and an F1 shop. Okay, well, I took grade 10 marketing.
Yeah, well, that's gonna come in handy.
But it would be a lot of fun to get a nice forum going for all of our fans to go in and talk. We can post about discussions and really have a big community grow here. So let's try and grow this community. It's a fun one. And F1's a fun sport, and
for sure,
we're all one big family.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all trying to help each other out. I think all the YouTube channels out there. So it's been fun for sure for this year. I guess in terms of the rest of the race, there really wasn't anything that. I mean, it was a decent
race.
Decent race with a finale with nothing on the line.
What was the interesting part? I think Max had a fantastic race.
Pretty good recovery
from where he was to make a beautiful pass on Valtteri Bottas. That was a nice little battle too. That was a fun battle. Oh boy,
he's getting good, man. He's getting real good.
And he's so smart too. The angles he was taking, he baited Valtteri into repassing him down the straight, and then just creamed him on the next corner. And I was like, oh. Man, this is so smart racecraft. And I think this kid's a world championship the next 3 years.
Wow.
He's a world champion.
In the comments below. No, that's not far off for me. The only question is the Honda engine. If they figure that out.
Yeah, it was very. And the only time we saw I really noticed a Honda engine go bad was Pierre Gasly in this race. But other than that, I haven't noticed it too much.
They've had to take a lot of extra components.
They have.
That's for sure. But we haven't seen.
But they've avoided the blow-ups, which helps.
True.
And Max can drive a car, so like.
Yeah. And and like I said, they've got Adrian Newey on their team, and with aero regulations being the biggest change, that's
huge.
Check one for Red Bull Racing
for sure.
So I mean, Ricardo might regret his decision a couple years from now. Maybe he won't, but we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, he's really, really good. That kid. So he's gonna be exciting to watch in the next few years for sure.
He's my girlfriend's favorite driver.
Really?
Oh yeah, she loves watching. I know.
He's good.
Max is gonna steal my girl.
He seems like a nice guy.
No, he's probably a nice guy. He'd probably
not better than you though.
He'd at least buy me a steak beforehand. You know? Honestly, I think Max. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe your subconscious is worried about something.
I am worried about Max. No, where I was going with this is how I think Max attracts fans, like people who don't really watch racing but will just kind of tune in here and there. Is one, he's an aggressive driver. Two, there's always drama around him, whether or not it's making contact or him just making a beautiful pass. And three, he's got the charisma for it too. He has like a fun mouth on him. He jokes around, nice easygoing guy. Very marketable too for sponsors. I think this is going to be a fan favorite, as in the type that we saw with Schumacher and Alonso and Raikkonen. I think he's up in that echelon.
And especially from a country where they've had a decent Formula One history, but now that
I think they could be the most passionate fans in the world.
They are right now, to me, anyways. Yeah. When we see them in Belgium and Austria, I mean, even in Abu Dhabi, there was a section of orange.
Yeah,
which was crazy. I think he'll single-handedly bring a race back to.
I hope they do. I hope they do, because that would just be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and like you said, I think
that'd be a race to go to. I would want immediately to go to that race, just because the fan experience would be so awesome.
For sure. And honestly, it's sort of the mark that we're missing here with Lance Stroll.
Yeah,
where
for sure.
The problem with the sport not being very popular here is, I mean, typically here, if we got more Canadians involved in terms of on the grid, then yeah, people will start paying attention. We saw it with tennis, with the rise of Raonic and Bouchard, where people will start to get more interested. Obviously with soccer as well. Now sort of soccer is a bit more mainstream than it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it was nowhere, 10 years ago, and now it's popular to an extent, but something like Formula One is very niche, and a lot of people don't watch it here.
No.
Even though we got a Lance Stroll on the grid, and now his dad, who helped out Force India.
He has had better results. He was. You saw the sport growing in 2017 when he got that podium. You could kind of feel the traction coming, and then obviously Williams just shit the bed this year. But he's going with a better team next year. I think you could see that from a Canadian perspective, from our perspective. But it grow again next year.
But for the Dutch, now that you have this, just a prodigy of a driver, and when he first came into the sport was showing the potential. Now that he's in a championship contending car, possibly he's winning races, and like you said, I think that he's giving us that excitement that we're missing.
Yeah.
I think kind of people are a bit tired of the Lewis Hamilton sort of. What I mean by that is that Max is not afraid to criticize the media.
No.
He's not afraid to get punchy with other drivers, literally. And he just doesn't give a fuck on track.
No.
He doesn't care who you are.
I'm really interested to see the passing of the torch here from the Hamilton Vettel rivalry to the, dare I say it, future Max Verstappen Charles Leclerc rivalry.
Or with Hamilton as well. I'd like to see that.
Hamilton will retire by then. He'll start his fashion line.
Yeah, but not if next year.
Well, next year, yeah. But I mean, for the future, we're talking 5 years from now.
Okay. Fair enough, yeah.
When we're who's the greatest of this generation? Is it Max? Is it Charles? Is it Pierre Gasly? Is it some kid we don't know of yet? Is it Lando Norris? Obviously we don't know. It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But I think right now the budding stars and the future rival of the sport is going to be Charles Leclerc versus Max Verstappen.
That's going to be exciting. He could win the title next year, Charles Leclerc.
Honestly, you could.
Like, Vettel's got some work cut out for him next year.
This kid's talented.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him in Australia. Imagine his first race comes out with a big W.
That'll set the tone. I mean, again, I'm excited for testing to see where all the teams are.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not maybe a direct showing of how they're going to do for the season, but
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I mean, we saw Williams 8 seconds off the pace, and it ended up being pretty true.
Yeah, McLaren struggled, which ended up being true later on. And, of course, the teams that were the best this year were solid in testing as well. So it's a good indicator for sure. So I'm really excited. This is one of the very
this is going to be the most packed off season, I think, of Formula 1 in the last 5 years.
I think so. And
maybe 10 years.
And all of that you can stay up to date on our channel because we'll be bringing all the.
And don't worry, we're not going away for the off season. We'll be
a little bit.
Well, we'll have a little break, but we'll be around. We'll be having our discussions and off season discussions.
Yeah. The plan is that we'll be back in a few weeks' time with sort of our full season wrap up.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a look ahead to 2019, and then we'll probably take a couple weeks off for Christmas, which is of course expected, and take some well-deserved time off and enjoy all the Christmas holidays, and then probably, I mean, honestly, it's not
testing starts in February.
Yeah, like mid-February they'll have the car launches, so we won't have very much time.
We'll have January to talk about gossip and
just looking ahead to sort of each team, and if like you said, anything breaks or any rumors or anything like that, we'll be there. So we will definitely be still bringing you some podcasts and content within now until the start of 2019. You got about 109 days-ish until FP1 in Australia, so
and that's not even to testing, so we're flying.
So hang on, folks. It will be a little bit hard in the beginning, but we'll have some withdrawal symptoms, but I think we'll be okay.
I'm already in withdrawal a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, last race this season.
They're doing some tire testing in Abu Dhabi this week. So
are they?
Yeah. Stroll's in the car for people watching on Tuesday morning, this morning, and he'll be doing.
Is it live streamed? Is that stuff live streamed?
No, unfortunately.
It's not. That's too bad. They should start doing that.
Yeah, there's some. Well, I mean, we're hardcore, so we definitely watch all of that.
Yeah.
They might have eventually, but I think it's more or less the financials of trying to keep the TV crews there and stuff like that. So
well, it doesn't have to be like a full commentated live stream. Just have maybe
just like a Facebook Live type.
Yeah, have like a 3-4 camera shoot of just.
Yeah. They
watch
have
the cars go down.
I think they definitely could do that type of stuff and just throw it up on YouTube and for everyone to see. So
people would watch that.
They started doing it with testing though, which is nice. You'd have to get cell phone videos a couple years past, and now you can actually
watch.
Yeah, and get updates and stuff like that. So, that'll be nice.
You have people 4 years ago sneaking over the fence trying to take a cell phone video, and you're
trying to reveal the new car.
Yeah, it's Ferrari has the new nose. Looks like. Wait, no, that's the end of the car. I can't see. It's a cell phone.
They've made some upgrades. That's for sure. That is for sure. Just before we go. Alex Albon, is that his name? Am I saying that right?
That's breaking news as of today.
Yeah, Toro Rosso confirms.
So Hartley's, see you later.
Albon and Kvyat.
Kvyat, yeah.
Thoughts, just quickly on that?
There's gonna be some crashes in Australia next year. I don't know much about Alex Albon. Apparently an FP2 star. That's what F1 Twitter said. I probably should have done research as a podcaster should before a podcast, but I didn't.
You can't check everything.
See, exactly. But I mean, it's another kid in the wings for this crazy Red Bull junior driver squads they have. It's ridiculous the amount of skilled drivers they have. So we'll see how this kid does. Young crew for next year. I guess Kvyat's not young anymore.
Experienced, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Maybe he'll lose another spot, and Max will win another race when he gets dumped off Toro Rosso.
Demoted, yeah. Yeah, Hartley grew on me toward
I liked Hartley.
The end of the season.
He had some bad luck.
I think, they kind of... I mean, first race in F1, he was at the back because of grid penalties. So
Yeah.
that was kind of a bit unfair for him. But I think that he showed a lot of fire and passion and I think just massive effort to try and fight for his seat. So
Yeah.
I think another year he probably would have done very well. So that's a bit unfortunate, I think.
Yeah. Not enough seats, enough fun.
No, but yeah, you got to give the young guys a chance, and we'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
Hartley's a little older too. Like he's 28 or 30 or something like that.
So I guess they're moving toward the future, but yeah, maybe it's good Fernando's not in next year with all these young guys.
Yeah.
Things go bad.
Well, like you have to think of the junior squads for Red Bull. Like where are they gonna go? You have Pierre Gasly and Max Verstappen there. Like unless one of them leave. Like those are two guys you could have in those seats for like 15 years if you really wanted to.
Yeah, you could.
Like,
that's why Mercedes should have invested in a smaller team and do it like Red Bull did.
well, I mean, it's Williams.
Yeah, if they would have fully committed that a few years ago, though,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, the way Williams are now, and obviously Kubica is back with them, so I'm excited to see how that will happen. So yeah, we'll get into that more a little bit in our look ahead to 2019. But we didn't really talk that much about Abu Dhabi, but I mean,
Well, I mean, we got the talking points out of the way.
just the final point is that
Lewis won the race.
yeah,
I should say that.
that's right. Kimmy retired early. I see what Kimmy was trying to do. He didn't want to go to the awards gala if he finished P3, so he's like, let me just shut this car off.
See you later.
But now he has to go.
You can go to the Amber Lounge.
We saw you, Kimmy. We know what you're doing.
Let's go into the Amber Lounge quick. Also, I want to mention, did you see WTF1, who's like great YouTube channel that we both enjoy? They had their internet's best reactions, and Esteban at the end came up to the host Matt,
Oh yeah.
and he had a blue like bag that you do when you're like moving out of your house, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I packed all my things," and he was like walking down the paddock with his blue bag. And all
Oh
his
man.
things. I was like, poor guy.
Damn, that's rough.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
No, I didn't see that yet. My final thought on the race is just it was funny to see how like friendly everybody was with each other.
Yeah.
Like Hamilton and Vettel, they did a helmet swap after.
Oh, that's
They were like, Hamilton was doing selfies on the podium and in the break room and everything like
he also
that.
took off his shirt,
Yeah,
which I was a little like, I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know.
Was he warm?
No, he said he wanted to show like his "Still I Rise" tattoo, so that's why he did it.
Oh, because all I saw was the cross, and I was like, man, like don't be pulling some religious politics on the podium.
Well, you know what was funny? It was like somebody was like, "That's pretty ballsy in an Arabic state."
Well, that's what I thought too. I was like, what's going on here? Okay, but if he's saying "Till I Rise," his tattoo, okay, that makes a little more sense.
Because I think it's tattooed on
like his shoulder.
Yeah, like his shoulder
Okay.
blades or whatever. So
That makes more sense then.
yeah, it was just random because all of a sudden he was just like,
Well, like I don't know if Vettel said something like "put your shirt back on," but like he did his fire suit back up like a midway for pictures and stuff, which was nice. Like he didn't want to do it too much.
it's so funny because Vettel's just the complete opposite. Like
Yeah, he
doesn't
was
have
like,
any social media.
"What's
He's
going
just
on?"
kind of standing there like what? Even when Hamilton was doing the selfie, like he didn't know what to do. He was just like, yeah. And then like Hamilton's doing this awkward thing where he's just like, it's gonna be tough next year. Yep. Yeah, you guys gonna be ready? Like it was just weird, man. But yeah, I don't know. Everybody was having a good time.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves, and everyone goes and parties at the Amber Lounge after. So
It's a good way to end the season.
yeah,
So yeah, I guess that's a good way for us to end as well. 21 out of 21 complete. Been a long year. Not really, actually. It went by
no,
pretty quickly.
it went by really fast.
Yeah, very fast.
The second half went by really fast.
Yeah, it did. It was I think because the championship wrapped up so quickly
Yeah.
as well, that was part of it. But yeah, it's been a pleasure bringing you guys all these race recaps, and that
Mhm.
was the final one for the 2018 season. So yeah, I think that was episode number 33 for us. So not bad.
Pretty good. It's
Yeah.
been a fun year,
We did all right.
and many more seasons to come.
Absolutely. We're not done yet, though, for 2018, so
No.
don't shut us off, and don't stop telling your friends and family about us, because within a couple weeks we'll be back with our season recap of 2018. Shaker will be here.
All the full crew.
Yeah, full crew will be here. Full setup will be here as well. And that might be in a little bit of a longer one because we'll have a lot to cover.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll go off topic a lot.
as we normally
As
do.
we normally do, but...
Like this is not a structured podcast at all.
Oh,
But I hope you guys enjoy it.
speaking of which...
Oh yeah, we
thanks
still
for
should
reminding
talk
me.
about this.
The our F1 fantasy. Now, I don't know. These are the unofficial results because I don't know if F1 has tabulated all the results. But as a reminder, we do have this glorious Kimi Räikkönen Ferrari cap
It is actually beautiful.
and
Kinda
our
want
F1 2019 mug. Keep updated on all the F1 races in 2019 while you sip your morning coffee. So the unofficial results, and like I said,
It's a nice hat. It's a nice mug too.
thank you. We have somebody vouching for us. To be eligible,
nice.
you had to have joined our league by the Canadian Grand Prix. So as of right now, first place would be Warrior. That's the username. Let me see if I can see what his actual name is on the team. But he did finish number 1. So Santosh, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. I wish Shaker was here. He would help.
He would help.
I know you guys are really, how should I say that? You guys really pay attention to the way we pronounce names. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to make sure I get it right. But he has number 1 with 2,690 points. Very close, actually. Fish Legs in number second.
Fish
second
Legs was
spot,
up there all year.
2,676. So very close.
Poor Fish Legs. He was up there all year. He was my favorite to win.
And rounding out the top 3, we have South African team name Vikings, 2,578 points. So congratulations to Santosh from India. We got a lot of people playing in this
We
league
do got a lot of
and
people.
watching.
And next
So-
year, hopefully, it's a lot bigger. Join our F1 fantasy league next year.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have some bigger prizes if things go well.
Yeah, so Santosh, if you're listening, reach out to us so that we can get these beautiful prizes to you. Hopefully,
Get your shipping.
before the new year, and just reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook, Instagram, or we also have our email posted in our YouTube homepage, so you can also reach us through there, and then we'll get that all set up. But other than that, thanks for everyone, by the way, for playing, and we'll hopefully try and get that.
Destroyed us. So I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't do well.
You finished ahead of Shaker.
Did I?
Yeah.
Boom! I didn't check the final race standings because
Yeah.
I was worried I had Kimi as my fan driver.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, he didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I'm hoping next year we can maybe have some more prizes, but we'll try and do that
Yeah.
again for 2019.
And hopefully, have more people in there. 'Cause if people have watched and, of course, did enjoy in time,
Yeah.
come join our fantasy league.
Absolutely.
And hopefully, our goal next year is to get a forum set up. That'd be a lot of fun. So we'll join that. We'll get that going for the 2019 season. Get you guys interacting with each other on the forum as well.
We haven't had you for the last episode or 2 to do this, but where should our people subscribe for us?
Down in the bottom corner, right here. Right here.
Right? Yeah, I think
Maybe
that's
I
right.
think it'd be right here. You can subscribe there. Like this video. If you really liked it, you can tell all your friends as well. Ring that notification bell. What other cheeky YouTube things can I say in there?
I think you covered it.
Is that
Yeah,
all of
share it on Facebook, on your
Oh, yeah, you
F1
can
forums,
share
on
it.
Reddit. We
I really
appreciate
want
it.
you to comment. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Interact with each other. Friendly.
Throw us on Reddit. If someone's a Reddit user, give us some Reddit love.
That's right. And just spread the.
And if you do throw it on Reddit, can you link us to where you've posted it? Because we would like to see it as well.
Yeah.
Just throw something on Reddit about us. If you can call us idiots, I don't care. We'll still get some people.
Maybe not that far, but just click on our
Just-
page and
yeah.
you'll see we're a friendly bunch.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're friendly.
You did a
Nice
good job
people.
there. You did a good job. I
Thanks.
think you covered that.
I tried my best.
And yeah, we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All links are in the homepage of our YouTube channel, so you can easily click there through your PC or your app. I think it's like right here.
Oh, is it?
Ish. Well, if you go on the homepage,
This
anyways.
is confusing.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard. So you can follow us through there, and we'll be posting all the fantasy winner stuff through there within the coming days and week. And keep up to date on when our next episode will be. But for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix review, I think that is it.
Yeah.
Anything else from you, sir, Mr.
No,
McDonald?
it was a fantastic season. A lot of ups and downs for a lot of drivers. Oof.
Maybe we should. It's been a long season.
All but positives for this podcast. Just needed his end there. Thanks to our loyal subscribers.
Yeah, very well said. Enjoyed every race this season, and we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Of course. We
And-
still have our 2018 recap video.
That's right. We'll
And we'll go through everything from there. That'll be a fun one to do, so make sure you stay tuned for that.
But that's it for the races, folks. It's been great to do all these recaps for you after every race, and we've had a lot of good debate and interaction with you guys. So That was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for 2019. So until then, until the first race in Australia, that's it for all of our race recaps. But stay tuned within the next coming weeks, as we'll be bringing you all of our 2019 previews and our 2018 reviews. So join us for that. Good?
Good.
All right. See you guys later. Take care.
Outro music.
I'm keeping that in there.